We've learned how to make a living, but not a life. We've added years to life, but not life to years. Jeff Dixon. Hello and welcome to episode 343 of Yoga with Melissa. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for welcoming me into your home as we spend this next hour journeying into our innermost home. Today we are at Beacon Hill Park in Victoria, BC. I'm going to get you to start lying on your backs with your hands on your belly today. Place your hands on your belly and breathe into your belly. And you can stay here, and I'm going to sit up and start the class for you. Thank you to Squeezed Yoga Clothing for my clothes. Today I'm wearing a long sleeve purple bamboo dancing Ganesh top and short leggings, capri leggings, black with an Om symbol on them. And thank you to Dusky Leaf for my props. Today you're going to need a strap and 2 blocks. I have a testimonial from Anne-Marie from the Yoga with Melissa episode 341 from our YouTube channel on the class on perfectionism. And she said, I love, love, love the goddess victory flying geese pose. It felt so free and liberating and energizing. This week, I'm taking off the mat. There's no better or best. And lovingly preparing to say adieu to Camilla, the comparison queenie. I recently read perfectionism is merely fear in a mink coat. So using this imagery when Polly the perfectionist shows up to reclaim my power and my sovereignty as I slowly dissolve her and hold on to me. Namaste, Anne-Marie. So I love hearing from all of you. Thank you, Anne-Marie, for taking the time to leave your comment on YouTube. And thank you to all of you who take your time to leave your comments on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and my website. When you send me SpeakPipe messages, I was just responding to SpeakPipe messages this morning before I came out to film today. So thank you so much. We're going to come together as student and teacher as we do our Shava Sahanavatu mantra, our peace mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvina Vaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So that mantra means protect us together, student and teacher. May our studies nourish us together. May we work together in union for the good of all. May our learning be luminous and purposeful. May we live in harmony. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Our poem today for this class in our Poetry in Motion series is called Paradox by Jeff Dixon. So continue to breathe into your belly as you receive this poem. The paradox of our time in history is that we have taller buildings, but shorter tempers, wider freeways, but narrower viewpoints. We spend more, but have less. We buy more, but enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences, but less time. We have more degrees, but less sense, more judgment, but less knowledge. More experts, yet more problems. More medicine, but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little, drive too fast, get too angry, stay up too late, get too tired, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions, but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We've learned how to make a living, but not a life. We've added years to life, not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We conquered outer space, but not inner space. We've done larger things, but not better things. We've cleaned up the air, but polluted the soul. We've conquered the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. We accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. We build more computers to hold more information, to produce more copies than ever, but we communicate less and less. These are the times of fast food and slow digestion, big men and small character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are the days of 2 incomes, but more divorce, fancier homes, and broken homes. These are the days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to quiet to kill. It is a time when there is much in the showroom window and nothing in the stockroom. A time when technology can bring this letter to you, and a time when you can choose either to share this insight or just hit delete. So as you rest back here, we're going to do square breath as you lie on your back. Because in the poem, we have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences, but less time. This square breath allows us to really slow down and create inner space, because we've conquered outer space, but not inner space. So we can create that inner space with square breath and learn to wait instead of rush, as the poem talks about. So with your hands on your belly, you're going to start by breathing in. Pause. Breathe out. Pause. Breathe 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 in. Pause. Breathe out. Pause. Okay, and then return to breathing normally and feel the effects of this breath practice on your breathing, on your physical body, mentally, emotionally. Notice how you feel. And then you're going to stay lying on your back. And we're going to move on in our next pose to the next phrase and another phrase in the poem. It is a time when there is much in the showroom window and nothing in the stock room. So this line in the poem really struck me as being a metaphor for a lot of what happens in the yoga community right now, which is that the yoga community starts to really focus on what the pose looks like as opposed to what the pose feels like in your yoga practice. So it becomes striving for what it looks like on social media, in the media, on magazine covers, as opposed to an inner practice that creates space, that creates self-awareness in your body. And it really is an inner practice, and it doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters what it feels like. So we're trying to develop something that you can drop in internally, get to know yourself better, and it's not about what it looks like. So I want you to bring that intention to this next pose and the whole class. So it's a time when there is much in the showroom window. It's not about the showroom window. It's not about what the pose looks like, and nothing in the stock room. So think about the internal practice, about what the pose feels like. You'll need your strap for this. So go ahead and stay lying on your back. Take the strap and place it around the ball of your right foot. If you have any low back issues, you're going to want to bend your left leg. If not, you can keep your left leg long. And you want to draw your right leg in until you feel something happening along the back of your right leg. So it doesn't matter how far your right leg comes in, and all that matters is that you're feeling something happening in your physical body. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters what it feels like in your body. Relax your shoulders down, space between your teeth. Relax the space between your eyebrows. Continue breathing into your belly. And then keep your left leg or your left foot heavy on the ground and open your right leg out to the side. And again, you want to feel something happening on the inside of your left thigh on the inside of your right thigh, but not in your right knee joint. So it doesn't matter how far your right leg goes, but you want to feel something happening on the inside of your right leg, not on your right knee joint. It's about what it feels like, not what it looks like here. And draw your belly back to your spine. Bring your right leg back to the center. Unhook your right foot. Lower your right leg down. Feel the difference between your right and left side, and notice that you've done something for the right side of your body here. So your practice has had an effect. And then you're going to hook up your left leg. Draw your left leg in. Pay attention to what you're feeling in the back of your left leg. Stop when you feel something happening. Remember, it's not about struggling, but it's about creating sensation in the back of your leg. Then sink down through your right leg. Open your left leg out to the side until you feel something happening in the inside of your left thigh, not in your left knee joint. Sink down through your right hip bone and your right leg. And draw your leg back to the center and release your left leg down. And you can put your strap off to the side. Just take a moment in the center to feel the effects of your practice. No need to rush your practice. And then bend your knees and roll to your side. And you can come up onto all fours. Okay, so take your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Feel the strength of your core here. If you have any problems with your wrists, remember this builds strength in your wrists. But if you have carpal tunnel or tendonitis, you might want to come up onto your fists or down onto your forearms, whatever works best for you. We're going to do some cat pose to warm up your spine. So we're going to spend some time in this pose, developing a relationship with yourself through the core of your being, your spine. These are times of fast foods and slow digestion, big men and small character, steep profits and shallow relationships. So in yoga, we first develop a relationship with ourselves, so then we can go out and relate with others in the world. And we do this by slowing down and turning inward. So we're going to start by layering some things in here. We're going to begin with a balancing sequence here. So take your left leg to the back of your mat, your right arm forward, and then lift your opposite arm and leg and hold. And then lower down and bring your arm and leg in. And then this time take your right leg to the back of the mat and your left arm forward. And then lift and hold. And then lower. And now we're going to do same arm and same leg. So you're going to bring your left knee in a bit. Take your right arm forward, your right leg back, and then lift. And lower, and then take your left knee back and bring your right knee in. Take your left leg back, your left arm forward, and lift. And then bring yourself back together. And then we're going to do a rotation here to aid your digestion. Lift your left arm up. Bring your left arm between the space between your right hand and your right knee. Lower your left shoulder to the ground. Tuck your chin. Come into rotation. And then inhale and come up, and we'll do this on the other side. So inhale, reach your right arm up. Take your right hand between the space between your left wrist and your left knee. Lower your right shoulder to the ground, tuck your chin so you're rotating on the other side. And then inhale and come back up to center. Okay. So the next one we're going to do is to build your upper strength slowly, because I think upper body strength is something that we kind of give up on. A lot of the yoga postures require a lot of upper body strength, and then we try it and then we give up. So we're going to build slowly. And this, I thought of this one because of the line in the poem, "These are the days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to quiet to kill." And I thought if we worked on taking a posture that is challenging and breaking it down into something that is less challenging, so sometimes they call these regressions, then we can not need to take a pill for something. Instead, we can build on it very slowly and work up to it. So So, you know, when a baby learns to crawl, sometimes they do this bum tuck thing. That's what we're going to do. They kind of pull themselves along before they crawl. So you're going to take your hands behind you, and you're going to turn your fingertips out on an angle, like a 45-degree angle. Roll your shoulders back and down, and you're going to bum squat yourself along the mat. That's all you're going to do. So what you're building up the strength to do is a reverse plank, and then we're going to go back. So instead of wanting the quick fix or wanting to be able to do the pose right away, you're going to have the patience with yourself to be able to build the upper body strength for this. And I'm staying on my mat because the grass here is really wet, but you could go off your mat. And you might feel this in your wrists as your wrists begin to build strength. And unless you have carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis, it's okay. You're building wrist strength. Our hands and our wrists are weak from underuse. Okay, so you can come towards the middle of your mat, roll your shoulders back and up, and then just practice lifting your butt a little bit higher. And then slowly lower down. Or you could stay with the bum tucks. Okay. From here we're going to do a side bend gate pose variation. So you'll have your left leg out, your right knee bent, your hand to the side of your right knee, your left hand to the side of your left knee. You're going to inhale, reach up, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach up, exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach up, press into the front of your hips, open up your side body, exhale, lower down. And one more, inhale, reach up. And then I'm going to get you to challenge yourself to take your leg off the ground. And then exhale, lower down. Then we're going to switch sides. So your left knee will be bent, your right leg will be extended. Take your left hand on the ground beside your left leg. Inhale, reach up. Press your hips forward. Open up through your side body. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reach up. 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 And one more. Inhale, reach up. And then I'm going to challenge you. You can stay here or you can lift that leg up off the ground. And lower down. Okay. And then we're going to come to seated for the teachings for today and hear the poem again. And I have a mudra for you today. It's the Vayu 3 mudra. You take your thumb into the base of your ring finger, and then you curl. Okay, then you're going to close your middle ring and baby finger over top. And you're going to hook your first fingers. And you're going to just rest that about the level of your solar plexus. And so this is said to remove obstacles on your spiritual path, such as laziness, doubt, ignorance, egoism, excessive craving, and aversion. And I felt like these were kind of all the topics that were brought up in the poem, so this was a good mudra for today's class. So you're going to sit with this, close your eyes, draw your shoulders over your hips, and your ears over your shoulders, and I'll read the poem again and go through the teachings, and then you can set your intention for the rest of the class, and then we'll carry on. Paradox by Jeff Dixon. The paradox of our time and history is that we have taller buildings but shorter tempers, wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. We spend more but have less. We buy more but enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences but less time. We have more degrees, but less sense, more knowledge, but less judgment, more experts, yet more problems, more medicine, but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little, drive too fast, get too angry, stay up too late, get up too tired, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions, but reduced our values. We walk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We've learned how to make a living, but not a life. We've added years to life, not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We've conquered outer space, but not inner space. We've done larger things, but not better things. We've cleaned up the air, but polluted the soul. We've conquered the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. We accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. We build more computers to hold more information, to produce more copies than ever, but we communicate less and less. These are times of fast food and slow digestion, big men and small character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are the days of 2 incomes, but more divorce, fancier houses, but broken homes. These are the days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to quiet to kill. It is a time when there is much in the showroom window and nothing in the stockroom. A time when technology can bring this letter to you, and a time when you can choose to either share this insight or just hit delete. This poem speaks clearly to how our yoga practice allows us to stay connected in a high speed and low connection culture. It reminds me of the slow movement, which seeks to connect us more meaningfully with others, the place we live, and ourselves. The issue of time poverty can be solved by making a connection with ourselves. The slow movement evolved out of an effort to counteract our fast-paced, commodity-focused, unbalanced, and impersonal modern culture. Through our yoga practice, we can slow down and get to know how our body feels, not just how it looks. It may be tempting to shape your body like the latest cover of a yoga magazine or a photo you saw on Instagram. But even more important is to ask yourself to slow down, find space within, and get curious about how your body feels in this moment. Our yoga practice gives us space away from the busyness of daily life, where we can develop a relationship with our breath, our body, our mind, our emotions, and energy that is truly our own, far away from the showroom window. Through our yoga practice, we connect to the ground of ourselves and create the inner space to truly know our soul. The practice itself is quite minimalist. Even without a yoga mat, with only your breath and your body, you can develop an intimate connection with your true home. Discover what it really matters to you and begin to shape a life that is meaningful to you. We develop patience over years, starting with days, months, weeks, then years and decades, to allow your body to unfold as it does. Through twists, we allow our bodies to digest at a pace that makes sense to each one of us individually, so that there is no need to rush. As my teacher, Vonda Scaravelli, always said, infinite time and no ambition. So begin to form an intention of what it is that you would like to receive from the rest of your yoga practice today. What is it that you are trying to create, sustain, or release in your life right now? And how can your practice best help you to do that? Okay, you're going to need your blocks for the next few poses, so put them at the top of your mat once you set your intention. And you're going to come and stand towards the back of your mat on your knees. And then we're going to work on balance to begin. You're going to stand on your knees and you're just going to step your foot forward to the front of your mat, and then you're going to step back. So left foot's going to come forward, and then your left foot's going to come back. And we're going to do this a few times. And this is one way that you can work on balance. This will, for those of you who are practicing sun salutations too, this will help you with your walkthrough and sun salutations. So, we talk about breaking things down. This is a regression. So there's no, you want to, we talk about that need to have everything at once. You have to break things down. And people say they really struggle in lunge pose. Well, unless you practice doing the step through 100 times, it's always going to be a struggle. So you got to practice that step through and get good at your balance. Or else the balance is always going to be an issue. You could use a chair. So we practice balance. Balance is something that you can improve, just like strength, just like flexibility, just like endurance, just like your cardiovascular. Okay, so once you've done that a number of times, then you're going to come through and you're going to come into lunge pose and open up your right psoas here. So this morning on the Facebook live stream, somebody asked me about psoas muscle and good poses for the psoas muscle. So lunge pose is one of the best poses for opening up your psoas muscle. And then what you're going to do is probably bring your front foot way back and tuck your right toes under. Straighten out both legs so you're coming into Parsvottanasana pose. So pyramid pose, opening out the backs of your hamstrings here. And then turn your right toes out, drop your left sit bone, You can even lift your block underneath your left hand and reach your right arm up for triangle pose. And then turn back down towards your right block, lifted up as well. Turn towards your left leg, lift up. I'm going to get you to lift your back right leg. Your hips are square to the ground so that you're doing a version of warrior 3 pose, practicing your balance here. And then you're going to lower back down, and we'll do this whole sequence on the other side. This whole sequence is preparing us for half moon balancing pose. Okay, so I'm going to do it facing the other way. So put those blocks at the top of your mat. You're going to stand on your knees. This time you're going to practice walking through with your right knee. You can even put your hands on your hips. So walk your right knee forward and bring it back. And you're trying not to lean off to the side. Tim's watching me saying really good because I was making him do these the other day in the park. And we were really struggling with them, weren't we? Okay, and then step forward and hold and come into that lunge pose here, opening up the front of your left hip. So we spend a lot of time sitting in chairs, and this gets really closed. It's always contracted like this side, so we need to spend time opening it. And then you're going to bring your back foot in and bring your feet closer together so you can straighten both legs, coming into pyramid pose. So you're opening up the backs of both legs. So just bring your feet far apart enough so that you feel stretch in the backs of your legs. And then turn your left toes out, open up your left hips, reach your left arm up. Your right hand's going to go on your block for triangle pose. And then turn down. Use the 2 blocks again forward of your right foot and come so that your hips are parallel to the ground and your torso is parallel to the ground for warrior 3 pose, practicing your balance in preparation for half moon balancing pose. Okay. Okay. All right. So from here, we're going to practice half moon balancing pose, and you want to take your time in half moon balancing pose. So you'll start from standing with your blocks in front of you. You can use blocks, so you don't have to use blocks. You could use a chair too if you want to. That'll make it a little easier if the ground's a little higher. And you're going to start by coming into a standing forward fold. Take your right hand on the block, and then you're going to lift and take your left leg up behind you. Open your left hip, and then open your left arm as well. So you want to move slowly into the pose. Focus on something that's not moving on the ground. Okay, so I chose that pose because of the line in the poem about going to the moon and then back, but not traveling across the road to meet your neighbor. So let's try this on the other side as well. So you're going to come into a standing forward fold. You can use a block underneath your left hand if you want, or you can use the ground or a chair under your left hand. And this time you're going to take your right leg back and up. Open up your right hip. Focus on something on the ground. And then open up the right side of your body. And then you can release that pose from your body. We're going to do a downward facing dog after that, just to calm and restore your nervous system after that, just to let your body reset a bit after that. So come onto all fours, spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes under, and come into downward facing dog. Let your head hang and just let yourself rest here. And then from here, you're going to lower all the way down onto your belly. And we're going to do a really simple back bend. So start with your arms forward and just wiggle your hips from side to side and walk your elbows back underneath your shoulders. And we'll just do Sphinx pose here, just to tonify your kidneys and your adrenals, to give yourself a little boost to finish up your practice. And then we're going to come up to sit in a twist. So you're going to come up and sit on your mat with your legs in a zigzag position, your right leg in front of your left leg, and you're just going to bring them from side to side a couple of times just to release your hip joints a bit. And then end with your right leg in front of your left leg. And then take your left hand to the outside of your right knee to twist. And then switch your legs to the other side so that your left leg is in front of your right leg, and then we'll do the same switching action on this side just to release your hip joints a bit here. Really great for your hip joints, mobility in your hip joints. And finish with your left knee bent in front of your right knee. And then we will take your right hand to the front of your left knee and twist. Tall spine. These are times of fast foods and slow digestion, big men and small character, steep profits, and shallow relationships. So we're doing a twist for digestion here. And then come back to the center, and we're going to finish with a squat with Malasana. So you're going to come forward here into a full squat. And you're just going to try to reach your heels to the ground here. Heels underneath your sit bones, knees pointing forward. And then we're going to rest back into Shavasana. So you can lie down on your back. Turn your palms up beside you. So you're going to stay here lying down for Shavasana, and I'm going to sit up and read you the poem one last final time. Paradox by Jeff Dixon. The paradox of our time in history is that we have taller buildings but shorter tempers, wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. We spend more but have less. We buy more but enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences but less time. We have more degrees but less sense. More knowledge, but less judgment. More experts, yet more problems. More medicine, but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little, drive too fast, get too angry, stay up too late, get up too tired, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We've learned how to make a living, but not a life. We've added years to life, not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We have conquered outer space, but not inner space. We've done larger things, but not better things. We've cleaned up the air, but polluted the soil. We've conquered the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. We accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. We build more computers, to hold more information, to produce more copies than ever, but we communicate less and less. These are times of fast foods and slow digestion, big men and small character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are days of 2 incomes, but more divorce, fancier houses, but broken homes. These are days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to quiet to kill. It is a time when there is much in the showroom window and nothing in the stock room. Gradually allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. And slowly make your way up to seated. We'll finish our class today with our Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu mantra, making space with breath and a sigh. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. So thank you for joining us for episode 343 of Yoga with Melissa. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe. We put out a new show every single Friday, and that way the show will show up in your feed on Fridays. And if you know somebody who you think would enjoy today's class, then please feel free to share it with a friend, a family member, or a co-worker. And I want to thank Diane and Donna for your donations. If you'd like to make a donation to today's show, you can click here below to leave a donation. And if you would like to donate of your time, then you can always leave a comment. And today's questions for the comments is, how are you going to slow down to create that inner awareness this week? I'd love to know. I always love reading your comments, and we respond to all our comments as well. If you'd like an infographic of my top 3 benefits of engaging with poetry, then go to melissawest.com/343 and scroll down, and there's an opt-in box there. If you type your email in and give us your email address, we will send you that infographic of the top 3 reasons and benefits of engaging in poetry. Today we practice square breath, and in our membership community we have a whole breath class, a whole pranayama class on square breath, how to do square breath, and also it includes the connective tissue practices with the slow-mo ball really opens up your breath through your torso, your belly, your side, and your back to soften your breath as a whole. It goes through how square breath works for the different Ayurvedic doshas. It's very calming for fiery pittas and calms anxious vatas. And also we go through how it works for traditional Chinese medicine, for the chakra systems, for archetypes and shadows. We talk about the different Hindu deities with it, Lakshmi and Vishnu. And also we talk about the moon phases that are related to square breath. So it's a great class that covers a lot of ground, and that's in our membership community. So I put the direct link to that in the show notes. And if you'd like to become a member, you can also click here to become a member. So thank you so much for joining us for this class. I'm sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as strong as our mountains, and may you be as rooted as the trees in our forest. Om Shanti. Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.
Sorry, my tea went the wrong way. So you know when a baby learns to crawl, it'll be good.